Hello everyone. In this video, I'll be talking about power equation and expression for power. So you may have seen the power equation like this. Power equals to voltage time current, and you may have seen different forms like power equals to voltage square divided by R, or maybe this form current square times R. So in this video, I'm only talking about this equation and see how we can use it to find an element that is delivers power or supplies power. So if we have a negative sign, like if P is less than zero, we have a negative power, which means is delivers power. If we have a positive, power is greater than zero, we say it supplies power. So we use this equation in two forms. Like, let me draw an element like this, positive, negative, and exactly the same thing for this one, positive and negative. And if the current goes to the positive side, we use this equation. And if the current comes out, we use this equation. Power equals to negative voltage times current. I like to draw a different different forms of the element, something like that. And these are equivalent, positive, positive, and positive, negative. And let's say the current goes to the positive terminal. And for this element, we use this equation. And let's say if current goes to the negative terminal, which means this way, we use this equation. And now let's have an example and see how we can find the total power of the circuit. So now here we have a circuit with element A, B, C, D, E, F. And these values of this is a voltage values, and this column is the current value. And we are going to find the total of power. So for the total power, we donated with P total equals to power supplied plus power absorbed. So if the power is negative, we supply power. If the power is positive, we absorb the power. Like for example, if we have let me change the color. Yeah. And for the element A, let's say if we have P A equals to, we look at the current and see from is reaching the negative terminal or positive terminal. And here is reaches from negative to positive. So we use this equation. and let's say the value. So negative, we shouldn't forget the negative sign of the equation. So 40 times negative 4, and negative times negative positive, and these two are multiply is positive 160. So which means the element A absorb power. So let's go do for the rest of the element. For power B, we see that positive to negative, we use this equation, and let's see the values. So negative 24 for the voltage value, and multiply by negative 4, and we get negative to negative positive, and these two numbers are multiply, we get a value of positive 96, or we can say absorb power. For element C, it's negative to positive, which we need to use this equation, and negative sign. Let's see the voltage value for C is negative 16 times 4. And we get, so negative times negative positive, we get a value of 64. And for power element D, negative to positive, so we use the same equation, negative, and let's see, negative 80 times negative 1.5. And overall have a negative, because, and 80 times 1.5, we have a value of 120. And in this case, we say the element supplies power. And let's see, for E element, positive to negative, we use this equation. And let's see, the value voltage is 40 times 2.5. So 40 times 2.5, it's positive 100, which means absorb power. And for the last element, element F, is from negative to positive, we use this equation. And let's see, what are the voltage and current. So 120 times negative 2.5 times negative 2.5, and overall sign is negative, and 120 times 2.5 is 300. So now let's find the total power absorbed or supplied by the circuit. So if we get a negative value, which means the circuit supplies power. If we get a positive, that means the circuit absorbs power. So, and depends, the question is asking you, if asking what is the total supplied, you need to calculate only the negative values, like 120 and 300. If the question asking you the total absorbed power, you need to add all the a positive value. But in this case, I'm looking for the total power, and just simply I add all these values. So for the total power, we say power total equals to, let's say, 160 plus 96 plus 64 watts and negative 120 plus 100 and negative 300. And if we just plug to the calculator, we get a value of negative 96 for the total power. But if we want to find the absorbed power, we need to add the only negative value, which in this case, let me write it with the different color. Let's see. So the power absorbed is 420, or the reason is 420 because it's absorbed power, which means negative for the 420 watts. And for the absorbed power is just adding these positive values, as I said. And that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope this helped you. Thank you.